Now with all the support and help, Move is as simple as playing Hela. That's my take. Hello and welcome back to the Marvel Snapcast podcast. I'm your host, Ken. I forgot last time I did not introduce myself. I'm the SuperTechGod, a gentleman with every variant in the game. I'm here with my awesome co-host, the one and only. Starting from the top, we got the top 5 best snappers in the world. Let them know who you are, my friend. Let them know.
Top 5 best snappers in the world. Cino. Because I snapped that hot fire, you heard? And this podcast reps that power on all day. Did you miss me? Let's go. I'm back.
Did we miss him? Interesting. And our other co-host, of course, the one and only.
I'm sorry, I'm deaf.
Yeah.
What?
Hey, didn't you tell me last episode I was too? Last time I did this, I was too quiet. Now I'll bring that right this time, and you mad? What's going on? I guess you got to make up your mind.
No, it's because I'm just shouting out Gaz, who stepped in last week to help on out, is a much quieter fellow in comparison to yourself. So I wasn't used to the top 5. You know, well, it's just I was not ready. I should have been ready.
Energized, but I charged your battery pulse.
I'm pretty sure that's actually my coffee energizing me, good sir. But you know what? I'll take yours as a dose of caffeine as well. But cheers to you. Let's do this, man.
There's a plug right there. SGS Game Coffee, guys. Don't forget, go check out the website.
Damn right.
Down below. Sponsored by
What's going on, guys?
Coffee.
Yeah, I'll say I sponsor this. Sure, why not?
Why not? Come on now.
Use code SNAPCAST for 10% off all SGS Gaming Coffee. There you go. Done.
Let's go.
Done and done. There it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, SGS Gaming, Cino, and myself, we are the wonderful members of the Marvel Snapcast podcast. And this week, we have some awesome news for you guys. We have new OTAs. We have, of course, Move versus Hela. We have Scarlet Spider, the best card this season. Of course, we're going to talk about this season. And of course, that new game that, you know, you have to travel to New Zealand and get. We'll talk about that in a minute. And of course,
how was your flights, guys? I heard you guys.
Flight was. My arms are tired. I flew back in. My arms are tired.
Yeah, I am. It'll work for us because, you know, we're both dads. All the 3 of us are dads. So yeah, dad jokes are fine. I flew back. Yeah. I flew. It was amazing. I was in New Zealand, right? And then I was like, you know what? I want to go play Marvel Snap. So I'm going to go fly from New Zealand to Brazil. And I was back in like 15 minutes. It was insane. It was amazing. The service
in the world right there.
Fantastic.
I'm
sitting on all of y'all.
We got to talk about something like that in a minute. But nonetheless, let's dive into, of course, we're going to start off with this wonderful brand new OTA that came out today, about a few hours ago. We got some bangers. We got some head scratches. We got some amazing things happening going into this OTA because I believe the next OTA is not until my birthday. It could be further out. It could be closer. Either way, let's talk about this week's OTA that just happened a few hours ago. And that's starting off with, of course, the nerf to Marvel Boy. Now, Marvel Boy used to be a 3/2. After each turn, give 3 of your 1-cost cards plus 1 power. This card has been phenomenal. Love this card that season. Helped me get to Infinite a couple of times. He is now a 3/1. Now, of course, the explanation here is because of Zoo and all the wonderful things Zoo has been doing. Zoo is definitely a strong list, and we think that other cards should probably got nerfed or touched, like Gilgamesh. Why Marvel? Okay, can't say touch, fine. Why Marvel Boy? What's your take, Cino? How do you feel? Why do you think Marvel Boy got adjusted?
There you go.
That's the word we use. Adjusted.
Yes, there you go. I mean, you could call it nerfed. It's okay. Yeah, the Zoo was running rampant. I personally didn't see it as such a problem. I wasn't a fan when I first heard. I'm not like, oh my God, how could they? But I'm like, damn, why'd they have to do that? You know what I mean? But other than that, I don't think it takes away from Marvel Boy. Like, I think people are still going to play Marvel Boy, still a very essential card, giving your 1-cost their buff. I don't think people are just going to be like, okay, got knocked down to a 3/1. I'm not going to play this anymore. Nope. The tech was way more valuable than the power. So Yeah, I still think Marvel Boy is very valuable, but yeah, I think it was probably the zoo or the people just trying to play high power with Cull Obsidian also in there with some Mockingbird shenanigans. I think that deck really ran rapid in the meta, and I think they were a little step too late because I think that was a little bit passe. I think with the nerf to Mockingbird, I think that kind of killed that. I don't really see that much in the meta anymore. Mm-hmm. So I think they're a tad too late in doing that. I don't think it was probably necessary, but hey, you know, it's not going to stop people from playing.
I agree. And I think if you guys didn't see Isket's gaming, I'll let him say what he has to say. But I did watch his video earlier. That's the videos that I do watch whenever OTAs are out. I don't watch anybody else's video, just saying. And the point that he made in regards to Red Guardian, I'm going to let him take it from there because I don't want to take his shine. Please guess.
It's fine. No, it's okay. I'm glad somebody watched it because no joke. I was a bad content creator today in the sense that I had the video ready to go.
Right.
Because, you know, thank goodness for the creator program. I was able to get a video ready and set ahead of time. And then I went and had dinner. And then all of a sudden, after my dinner was done, I was like, oh no. And I look at my phone and it's already been out for 40 minutes. I was like, and in the creator game,
you're
an
a step
hour
behind already
on 911 news, that literally cost me probably about a couple thousand views. I'm like, oh my
probably
God.
Yeah.
That steak better have been worth it. So it better have been. It was really good. I'm not gonna lie. But I digress.
Was it worth it?
Great.
Let us know.
It flavor wise. So anyway, flavor wise. Speaking of flavor, we'll talk about the flavor of Zoo, which is going to change because you do have the ability to have now Red Guardian be targeted, and one of the little details about Zoo that was really important was understanding the synergy between Squirrel Girl and Marvel Boy. And you wanted to try to protect against a Red Guardian in particular, if you could try to target Marvel Boy to be behind one of the squirrels that were generated and not Squirrel Girl, it's always protected from Red Guardian. So you never have to worry about it losing its power in that instance. Now it's a 50-50 toss-up if it's put into that lane. Or it's a guarantee because you can't put it in the same lane as the actual Squirrel Girl. So that's something to think about as a negative to this. But in a weird way, you could also look towards seeing some kind of Ravonna Zoo switch now, because now you can make out an extra piece of tech by putting in Ravonna on turn 2 and then Marvel Boy plus a 1-drop on turn 3. I don't know what the rest of the game looks like at that point, but maybe we see some shenanigans with changes. I don't know. I could see Arnim Zola and Gilgamesh, and then Gilgamesh gets Arnim Zola'd, and you get that to proc twice on turn 5 and 6 or so. I don't know. Like, there's got to be something along those lines that's really interesting. I haven't pinpointed exactly what it is yet, but that's what I would like to do with the new version of Marvel Boy. Because let's be honest, his total power output for being a 3-drop, he's very often giving you more than 3/7 in stats, which means he's a very good card. So go ahead and take his power away. It's completely fine.
Ravonna, I wasn't thinking about that. Great take.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, agreed. Because now it becomes cheaper. And now you have other 0 power cards that can take that buff from Ravonna. So we'll see what happens. We'll see that new Zoo Ravonna deck. It looks like
the Zola Zoo deck. There we go.
Zola Zoo deck.
It sounds like a Dr. Seuss rhyme. It's the Zola Zoo deck with Ravonna and friends. Play it all the way till Marvel Snap ends. You know.
You can tell we're dads here, guys. We are definitely
no.
We're talking about that. Okay. War Machine, one of my favorite cards in the game, got a nerf. Now, it went from a 4/7 to 4/6. I think we did call this on the last 2 podcasts.
No, you called it. You called it. You did. I disagree with this. So,
yeah. Well, yeah, I felt that he needed to be adjusted so that nobody can cry, because everybody's getting upset that, you know, the whole War Machine, Legion, Storm play was happening, and the fact that War Machine was still a 7 power. So at the end of the day, I just said, listen, I don't want to change the ongoing, but he could definitely drop his power this way. We're not worried about it. I mean, him being a 5, I was even total okay with, but nonetheless, I'm happy they didn't make him a 5. I'm happy they didn't take away the ongoing. They just dropped him in power. And the way Marvel Snap and Second didn't normally do this is to stop people from playing a card. And I think War Machine is going to get the exact amount of play that it got before and after his buff, right? I don't think people are playing War Machine and Legion and stuff right now. So because move is just on the level that we'll get to later on. But I'm okay with this nerf because it doesn't stop his ongoing ability, which made him even better. So what's your take, guys? How do you guys feel about War Machine getting before 6?
Thank you, sir. Like I said, I think it was Guest that said it when we were talking about War Machine, that nobody's really playing War Machine for power, even though it was a nice, the 7 was a nice bonus. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody's complaining that it's a 6 now. I think the fact that you play War Machine is to get that access that you don't necessarily have to other locations, right? So that, in that sense, no harm, no foul, just like kind of like Marvel Boy there. I think you're playing more for the tech than you are for the power. And they're still giving you a pretty decent stat line there. And like Tech said, I'm so glad they didn't change it to a 5. They kept it at a 4, 6, decent stat line, decent curve. Everything's fine. And it's like I said, it's not really making a difference much in the War Machine game. So people are still definitely going to be playing War Machine on the regular.
All right. What do you feel about it, Guess?
Yeah, it's not going to change that synergy in any way, but there, after putting out the video, something else that did register to me that I didn't talk about in the video is they basically just took experiences from the past, fast forwarded doing several different types of adjustments, and they've learned from their mistakes. And the one I'm going to reference in particular is High Evolutionary. If you guys remember way back in the day, High Evolutionary in the data mines was going to be a 4/7. And all of us were like, oh my God, insane stats, because you're only playing him for just his stats. That's the only time you ever want to play him, is just for his stats, right? You're playing him in the deck because you want the abilities. Then when High Evolutionary came out, they launched him as a 4/4 with the justification that you're getting all of these other bonus abilities. So you don't need power on High Evo. That's the downside of High Evolutionary. Fast forward further, they brought him up to, I believe it's now 4/6. And and the justification for that was it's a feels bad thing and the deck needed some love. And he was a weak point in the deck because he doesn't have enough stats. Basically, they took the whole lesson of High Evolutionary and that cycle and tried to apply it to War Machine by saying, well, the War Machine effect is the thing that you want more, so maybe we bring him down to a 4/4. I'm back to fucking rhyming again, like Seuss. Jesus. God, it's a Seuss style episode. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, but he brought it down to a 4/4, and they easily could have done that. They easily could have said War Machine is going to be a 4/4 because you're playing him for the effect, not the stats, right?
Correct.
They easily could have done that, and then it would have backed everybody off. It would have been the weak point in the deck, and then they probably would have buffed it at some point. So they're just taking past lessons and applying them on, even though this does not solve what the problem of that combination is. I still think that they could, and they'll probably leave him at 4/6, but I still believe to this day, at some point, Legion will become a 6-cost card. And that will solve that.
It needs to be. And that will fix that problem. They shouldn't change War Machine. I think Legion should be definitely changed.
Legion's definitely being attacked.
I hope that they, but I think this is why they went this route first, to hope people stop playing with War Machine. I know.
No. It's such a good card, though. It's no need to stop using
it. I said, the same exact play. So it is what it is. Nonetheless, we're going to the next card that got a buff, and that is
whoa. Hold on. If you're gonna skip through nerf number 2, nerf number 3, and not talk about the most important nerf.
Who is the most important nerf right now?
Hela.
Yeah, she's last. We put Hela on the bottom.
I knew he was doing that. Main event Hela right there, baby.
No. Because
I felt Hela deserves the main event.
No,
but
she doesn't.
You want to talk about Hela first? Let's get into it.
I do.
Be a long topic.
I do want to talk about Hela. I've been biting my damn tongue, and the reason is
the reason is what?
The reason I've been excited to talk about this is because I know with the progression of the OTA notes, which ends on 2 move characters, we're going to come back and talk about Hela in a second way. I just want to talk about Hela right now in this current adjustment of going from a 6/6 at -2 to a 6/7 with giving -3s.
Yeah.
This, and I was very vocal about this in the chats with the creators and with Glenn. They announced this to us, and I started conversing with Glenn and saying, I'm glad that you're recognizing that this is a negative deck for the community, and that you just say it's a feels bad thing. And they even said it in the notes by saying, look, it's not a good deck. It's a 50% deck. And I quote, but here we are. So I find it so bizarre that the adjustment team looks at the Hela deck exclusively numerically, and rather than the entire game, it's almost like they're disconnected from the game state of popularity versus wins and cubes. And they were so resistant towards this because we've been talking about this in the creator chat for a while. That Hell is a problem ever since the Hell Cow change. Hell is a problem deck. This is ridiculous because you made an autopilot deck more brainless. And they're like, yeah, but it's not a good deck. And we're like, we don't care if it's a good or a bad deck. It feels like shit to play against. You just wasted 5 of my minutes of my life that I can't get back because I was doing strategy and doing the bounce and doing this thing. And okay, I'm setting up a combo. Boom. And they just went, yeah, I'm going to play a cow. And I'm going to roll a dice and see what happens. Like, that's basically how you play Hela now. And this adjustment, all it's doing, in my opinion, tell me I'm wrong. Okay. This adjustment is exclusively saying, look, if you want to run Hela, you got to run Luke Cage. That's it. Correct. That's all it's doing.
Correct.
So if that's the case, congratulations, you buffed Hela.
Yeah.
Good.
100%. So, okay. You're good? You got your rant? You're okay? All is well? You tell them why you're mad?
I loved it.
I did say it was great. It was fantastic.
I'm just reserving the second half of it for rebutting against you because clearly you're ready to go back to being the second dinner employee of the month right now. I could tell you're chomping at the bit. You're like, oh, I get to talk now? Are you sure? Are you done? Okay, it's my turn. I'm going to talk now. It's like, go ahead. Tell me why I shouldn't be mad. Go.
Guys, everybody's listening and watching. I hope you guys really enjoy the Marvel Snapcast podcast because we are 3 individuals that love to talk about Snap in ways that you guys never hear other people talk about Snap. And it's fun when we all have conversations that may differ from how each person feels, like this Hela issue right now. Now, I agree. Hela is a problem. I agree. This is not a nerf. This is a buff. Where I disagree, however, is that Hela is a brain deck cardless to play. I really disagree with that.
Brain dead.
Brain dead. Sorry.
I'm trying to help you learn how to debate. Words are important. Right. We'll try that next time. But go ahead. Go ahead.
So the reason why I say that is because I was in a wonderful tournament not too long ago against Perry Malino, the Theo Jartson late night show. And I played the most optimal Hela deck. He played a Hela deck. His Hela deck had Gambit in it. And I said, I think he has the advantage because Gambit can either snipe the Hell Cow before it activates or snipe one of my big cards in a lane. Hela versus Hela, it actually did that. One round, he sniped the Hell Cow before I got to activate it. And the second game, he won because he sniped the Infinite from one of the lanes and he won the game with his Hela deck. Now, the second game, I said, all right, I'm going to stay with Hela. Hela versus Zoo. So we go back to that matchup because that was a very intense matchup. There were times that I had to play in different lanes to just hope that things will happen differently. And guess what? Came down to the wire and I lost. So I agree with Second Dinner in the fact that Hela is definitely not a good list. And it is more a 51-49. And I mean 51 on the losing side, 49 on the winning side type of a 100%. It is a 49% win rate versus the 51. You have 51% more chance of losing than winning. And I think that's where we all disagree here. But at the end of the day, I think Second Dinner did this to deter people from playing Hela. Because like you said, you now have to walk with Luke Cage. And if people are doing what they're doing, like, walking with Red Guardian and getting rid of that Luke Cage or roguing that Luke Cage, those cards come back with -3 is really going to hurt you. A 17 power Infinite is going to hurt you. I guarantee you that, right? A 11 power Giganto is nothing to you. Okay. A 7 power Red Hulk, again, is a problem. So I feel that this nerf.
Sorry, I got to stretch out before my rebuttal. Go ahead, continue.
I see you get ready.
This nerf was needed, and I think you're no longer going to see a lot of Hela decks. You're not, because people do not want to waste that second list, that second spot just for Luke Cage. And also, if they don't have Luke Cage, that -3 coming back is really going to hurt. So that's what I feel. So that's my take on it.
Cool. You good? Did you get your conversation points in? Is it okay? You got your rant out? Cool. 100%. All right, I'll make sure that Second Dinner sends you your plaque. Listen, here's couple of rebuttal points here. Number one, as someone who held an Agatha tournament, when you have a mirror matchup and you're expecting a mirror matchup, those key card differences is a deck building piece, not a operational piece, right? He expected to see a Hela deck at some point. He played a Gambit, which was better. The Agatha tournament had the exact same scenario. The top players who moved forward in the Agatha tournament, including McDonald Genio, who won, ran Master Bolt, which was the perfect thing for the Agatha on Agatha tournament last year. So kudos to Perry for thinking ahead on the deck building side more so than the piloting side, because we're all in agreement, including Second Dinner, that this is a 50 to 51% style of deck. The win rate is average. It's a roll of the dice. It's a coin flip more often than not. But it still has a 20% meta share leading up until this OTA. Why does it have that meta share? Because it's easy to operate, not because it's necessarily the winningest deck. This is about the people who can play the Hela decks the most effectively are not the people who know how to click the activate button effectively. They're the people who know when to retreat. And that's what keeps the good Hela players away from the average Hela players, which just roll the dice every single time, versus I know I can't win in this scenario. Even if I pull off all 3 or 4 cards on revival, I'm in a deficit. That's the difference maker, because on the top of the meta, if you look at the top 10% who do run Hela, it's not a 50% win rate deck. If you look at the 50% 50% of infinite players, then you're getting to about 55%. And then if you start going from level 70 and higher and infinite, that's when you get a 50% win rate on the deck. Again, this is according to public stats that we have for Marvel Snap via Untapped. So in that instance, I don't think it's about the deck needing to be good. It's about Second Dinner trying to, exactly as you're saying, and I agree with you on this, they're just trying to tell people, hey, listen, don't play the deck. What I'm saying is this might do that for a week, but just like the cycle of Darkhawk Stature, it will come back with nothing different about it whatsoever, because the deck is still a good deck. And I firmly believe that, considering how many people were already playing Luke Cage in the deck, technically this is a buff.
Fair enough. So, how do you feel about this wonderful change to Hela?
Wow. You guys are passionate. You guys are angry 100%. Over here. I love it.
Angry. We just two sides of a coin.
Exactly.
She definitely got buffed.
Well, that's fair.
You kept your position on the podcast, good sir. Good job. Good job.
Yeah. She definitely got buffed. Yeah, it's basically like Guess was saying. Luke Cage was already being ran in this card list anyway lately, so who cares? -3. It really doesn't matter. Oh, and we get an extra power for her. Oh, thank you, appreciate it. And to speak to Ken's point, also, I think the percentages are a little bit more in favor of Hela. I disagree with both of you as far as it's like so low. I don't think it's even that low. I think if no one can compete with the power that you're putting up with Hela, it's very hard to beat, which is why you're catching a lot of frustration. People aren't getting their combos, therefore can't compete with somebody who's playing Hela and is probably going to get majority of the time what they need to do. And put a lot of power on the board. And I think that's what mostly is frustrating about going up against Hela. So that's why they say it's no skill. You didn't really have to do anything. You put all that power up there and you didn't have to do it. So that's the frustrating part for them. They're like, oh, we had to do our combos. We had to get our draw. We had to do all this and you didn't. And you know what I mean? That's the frustrating part. So, and I get that. But yeah, she definitely got buffed. Luke Cage was being run in it anyway. We got the power buff for her. She does put cards in fucked up places sometimes. She does.
Of course.
So a few times I've tried to, and she'll put all the cards I need to go somewhere else right in the same lane that I'm already winning. It's like, Come on, girl, spread that love. Hello, why are you giving all that love? But so it, like you guys said, it's not guaranteed necessarily that you're going to get that victory. And there are some ways around, her being procced off and her going off the way she does. But it's very far between. It's not really cards that people want to put in their card list. They want to play what they want to play. They don't want to play anti-Hela decks. You know what I mean? They want to feel like they want to run anything they want to run and they can win. And it doesn't feel that way with them going up against Hela and all that massive power being played on the field. So that I get their frustration. My thing is she doesn't always put that power where you want it, guys. Like, so if you're strategic and you find ways around it, you can win. So, I get both parties, but she was definitely buffed.
Listen, just play the Sage list and you won't lose, guys. A lot of people who got Sage been playing.
Well, with Taskmaster now being a 6, it kind of hurts. It kind of hurts it a little bit.
It hurt it a little, not tremendously though.
Not tremendously, but a little bit.
Yeah, let's get off of the bad news though. Let's talk about all the buffs.
Let's get to we get back to that in a little bit. So the buff, we have the season pass card of this season already taking some wonderful love. Symbiote Spider-Man came out at a 4.6. It is now a 4.7. Why is it a 4.7? I felt this card needed more love. As a season pass card, you want the season pass card to pop off, and this card wasn't really doing what they expected it to do as far as stats go, I assume. And that's why they gave it the buff. And they gave the buff in the final week. So if you guys haven't gotten a battle pass yet or a season pass, here's the time to get it. You won't miss out on this wonderful symbiote Spider-Man. Now, I just feel that with this buff and the other buffs I'm going to talk about, this just makes symbiote Spider-Man even better. But I'm happy. This is great. This is fantastic. This should have happened from day one. I mean, technically, I wish he was a 4.9. But Cino, how do you feel about symbiote Spider-Man?
The buff definitely helps. With 2 other cards that we're going to talk about very soon. That I'm not going to spoil it now. 2 other cards that we're talking about.
Talk about it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Let's lump them together as a conversation because I do think all 4 of them
kind of flow together.
Very important to talk about together. So go ahead. Yeah. Spill it all.
So Galactus, for one, we all know is going to pair very well with Symbiote Spider-Man, just giving them that extra boost. And then you got my boy Black Panther, which also got buffed up 1. So it's like it's that power. Black Panther being at a 5 is amazing. Like and we were talking not too long ago about Black Panther being kind of irrelevant lately, right? We were having that conversation where nobody really plays Black Panther. It's too predictable, this and that. Symbiote Spider-Man brought life back to Panther, and now this buff and power is going to bring extra. It's going to bring extra life into Panther, and I think those 2 are going to wreak havoc being combined together. I can't wait to personally I haven't tried it yet, busy day, but I can't wait to wreak some havoc with those card lists because Panther was one of my favorite card lists, and the fact that it became irrelevant kind of hurt. You know what I mean? It was like, can't play that no more. Move on. You know what? But now that it's back around and people are enjoying it more, I'm like, Mazel tov, let's go. I love it.
Yeah, what took them so long to buff Panther though?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
You say that about the Infinite, so
yeah.
You can't.
I think
Panther. Come on,
I think the Panther buff was essentially inevitable. It just needed to happen. It has been phased out as a somewhat relevant card just because of power creep, and it needed the love. You know, they were hoping that with the release of Nakia and Okoye and Shuri that, you know, it would be this nice little perfect package team to work together in a deck, and it's not. We shouldn't have to work that hard to play an okay version of a very popular card. Now at 5/5, this is a really good card because it's just straight up a 5/10 wherever you want with pretty much no downside. Yet alone, if you now want to do the other things on top of it,
yes,
it's a very, you know, very, very good card. But neither that nor switching Galactus to a 6/6 are the buffs of this whole symbiote Spider-Man synergy thing that I'm most excited about. It's actually the Negasonic Teenage Warhead change. Her at 3/3 is, out of all of them, the one that will be most meta relevant. Okay. With and without symbiote Spider-Man, because correct. I expect Negasonic Teenage Warhead to rise like Juggernaut did as the little sleeper lane winner.
Turn 6.
Yeah, you're going to see we're seeing a lot of priority decks already, right? We're seeing these Alioth decks be very successful. And you always were worried about a 3/2 that maybe could win you lane as another win condition. Now as a 3/3, this is going to be dangerous in Cerebro. This is going to be dangerous in several different decks. Surfer as well, of course. This is a lane winner all by itself. Like, this is a scary card at 3/3, yet alone with the symbiote Spider-Man synergy, where you can play it down, put the symbiote in that lane too, let it kill something, and then activate on top of it. And now you've got another protected, now what is a 9 power card when all is said and done. This is, a 10 power card when all is said and done. This is a big change, and that can be its own winning condition all by itself, kind of like what you would think about with Storm and Jessica Jones way back in the day, right? If you secured that turn 3, turn 4, you secured that lane, you nearly guaranteed to win it. If you get that turn 3, turn 4 of Negasonic into Symbiote Spider-Man, you very much so can win that lane just on defense. Just activate, kill, destroy, activate. It's going to be tough for them to try to compete in that lane when 2 cards are going to have to die. So I'm a big fan of that change out of all of them. Galactus needed to happen. Black Panther and people don't want to hear that, but it's true. 6/5. I mean, it was very weak, and we needed to see a little bit more oomph to that archetype to a degree because it's a counter to Hela. Remember that? Don't forget that. Right. It is a huge counter to Hela.
I was definitely going to bring up when we talk about Galactus.
Yeah, like this whole package of symbiote Spider-Man and friends, we'll call them, these 3 cards. This is a good thing for the meta because it really helps produce other decks that are just shy of being really good. And now it says, you know what? Here's 2 extra pieces for you in each of those decks. Symbiote plus insert one of those 3. Now that deck has a chance at keeping up against a lot of what's going on in Marvel Snap.
Correct. Yeah, it goes back to the Shang-Chi is needed because he needs to make sure those strong power cards get put in their place. I'm about to say, people were getting mad at Hela before, and what happened? Galactus came out and all that shit stopped. Yep. Then they nerfed Galactus and Hela's running rampant. Everybody's like, oh no, what's going on? I'm happy they gave Galactus that buff. He definitely needed it. I wish he got a little bit more, to be honest with you. But at 6/6 is fine because, there are some 3-cost cards at 5, which sucks, right? So it's fine. Galactus at a 6/6 is perfect. I mean, we didn't need the buff, to be honest. He was working great with Symbiote Spider-Man, but now with the extra power, the 2 extra power, this is going to be.
Think about it. You can Nomura that symbiote also and get it 100%. Even up there, and then add the Galactus stat. So it's even more of a buff. So it's kind of It's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly.
You can Shuri Aranya the Galactus into the symbiote now. 12 power Galactus plus the 719. I'm excited. Panther, my boy. I still play Panther to the day, right? Black Sands was one of my favorite card lists I created way back when. And even the Black Panther, the Wakanda Forever list when he first came out. And
Panther
I think
Tribunal. Panther Tribunal
was awesome too. Yeah. I think he was great when Shuri didn't get nerfed. I think that's when he was the best, when the Shuri was able to play and then you could play the next card any way you wanted. Because back in the day, you could put armor in a lane, buff the Panther with the Shuri, and then do a Taskmaster. So it was pretty good, right? It was fun back then. Then they nerfed Shuri. It was over because now you knew Panther's going in with Wong, or by himself. Yeah, it was horrible. 4-8. I mean 5-8. Now 5-10. I'm super happy. This is awesome. Changes that were needed. Like Guest said, this is gonna make the meta even smoother. Come.
It might make the meta smoother. I know you're fixing on your end there, but like one of the things that I think it does is takes out one of the worrisome decks. Like the Hela adjustment's going to take out the Hela deck a little bit from the meta, but more so I'm curious to see if these other decks rise, because we know Move is going to rise.
Yeah, we definitely got to talk about that. And that's exactly what we're talking about next. But first, before we get to that,
things on the rise.
This guy with the rise. We're going to talk about 2 move cards, speaking of that got buffs, and that is Kraven and Hercules. Kraven going from a 2-2 to a 2-3. So now when a card moves there, he's already a 2-5, which is phenomenal. For moving, and Hercules, who got a buff couple OTAs or patches ago, going from 4 costs to 3 costs. Now he has additional power. What is going on here? I know how you guys feel about Kraven and Hercules. You guys don't have to dive into that, but let's talk about the next topic on the list here. And of course, that is Move versus Hela. With all these wonderful changes happening to Move, which one do you guys feel is OP now? Is it still Hela? Or with the -3 return of her cards? Or is it the Move deck that are getting help after help, support after support, and buffs after buffs? I want to hear what you got to say. Cena, we'll start with you. How do you feel about Hela versus Move? Which one is the most OP at the moment?
It's definitely, in my opinion, definitely got to be Move now, right? I think Move has definitely taken a spot over Hela. Granted, like I said before, Hela's frustrating because you can put a bunch of power on the field and don't have to do much to do it. I don't think that Move is the same way. I do feel like Move, you do have to make a lot of, no pun intended, but you have a lot of moving parts. You have to get a lot of stuff going. You have to get your combinations. You have to play strategically. And you have to pray that RNG kind of falls in your favor sometimes with locations that won't be too flattering to you. But these card buffs and these card buffs that and Tech and Aranya coming out and these and Madam Web, it's just it's overwhelming how good Move is now, how dominant Move is going to be. If you're a Move player and know how to play Move player just decently, I think you're going to have a massive amount of success due to the Hercules and Kraven buffs. Yes. I remember Guest not too long ago, it was a few episodes back, proposing to us. He was like, hey, if Hercules is a 3, I forgot what you said, a 3 something, would that interest you? And we both were like, hell yeah, if that was the case, yeah, we definitely get Hercules. Well, guess what? He is. And guess what? We're going to add power on top of that shit. So come on, like cracked now. Cracked. So Hercules is almost, if you don't have Hercules yet, I don't have Hercules. It wasn't in my interest. I don't play much Move. But now when he shows up in my token shop, gonna have to spend the tokens on. I gotta spend tokens on Hercules now because it's just too good to pass up. These card lists, if you don't play Move like I don't, now it's gonna start time to start learning. Start getting your Move chops going. Start hitting that conquest. Start setting up those Move card lists. Start trying to learn and figure out the basics of it, because that is going to be your new meta. This is what you're going to be facing on a regular basis out there, because this is cracked, and I think it's taken over. So Hela, can work against you. You know what I mean? So I don't think she's as dominant as Move now is and has so many avenues for Move to just go crazy. So, yeah, that's just my take.
That's your take. Awesome. I guess I'll let you get into your take in a second, but I was going to say one thing about this whole situation. All right, ready for this? I guess this is my crazy take on the whole situation. I think now with all this support and help, Move is as simple as playing Hela. That's my take on that. I think with all these awesome cards right now, Madam Web being one of them, stack Hercules in the lane, put I'm about to just walk away from me. Oh man, this is amazing. Listen, we're gonna get a lot of comments on this.
Oh my God, yo, you know what you just did?
We get a lot of comments on this.
You know what you just did?
Listen, I just spoke the truth. Nobody else is gonna speak the truth.
Jeez.
Listen, before
What
all
the
of this,
fuck have you been drinking?
Move has been a very
Put the marker down. You're huffing it.
No. Move has been a very difficult list to play, a very different archetype to play in the past. I think right now it's way easier to play Move than it was in the past because of all the help and support it has gotten. Like I said, very simple. Have a deck with Hercules, Madam Web, and whatever other Move cards you want. Hercules in one lane, Madam Web in the other lane. All you need to do now is bounce cards over Hercules every chance you get. And when you're finished with that, play Heimdall if you want to. Game over. Whether you're going to have the power you want in one lane, the power you don't want in another lane is really up to you. I just think with all this wonderful support it has gotten, now you got Kraven. Put Kraven in the other lane. Put Hercules in one lane. Madam Web in the middle. With all this help that Move has gotten, I think it's way more easier to play and more fun, to be honest, than it was in the past. That's my take on it. Go ahead, guess. You may speak your mind now.
Ooh,
it's not as easy as Hela. I'm just saying that to.
Do you know the amount of hate mail we're gonna get now?
But it's easier. It definitely is easier now. People that haven't played Move before ever is playing Move like pros right now. So you can't tell me that.
Okay. Tell me how to play Hela.
I said I was joking. I know it's not as easy as playing Hela. I said that just to make you guys laugh. But I said it is easier.
I'm a barrel full of chuckles right now.
Okay. How to play Hela is very easy.
I'm walking back. Keep that same energy, bro.
I know, I was just joking with y'all. Come on, man. You know,
stand on it.
Hela is the easiest list to play. I just said Move is easy.
You right? Matter of fact, now that I think about it, you right. It is like playing Hela.
Yeah, I mean, because when I think of Move, when I think of Move, and when I think of Hela, you know what? It's like I don't know. It's addition and algebra. It's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's the same thing, you know. It's whatever. Same.
Like I said, that was a joke, but it is easier to play now with all the support and help that it's gotten. All you need to do,
made me cry a little bit,
is put Kraven in one lane, Hercules in another, Madam Web, and have a blast.
Okay. I'm still trying to compose myself, but I'll make my points. So Move right now is going to be the best deck in the game. The question is, which element of Move is the best element to put into the meta? Is it a full Move package? Is it a half Move package with something else? Is it, this is what we're all going to be discovering right now, because, and this is what I said in my video. I know you, Tech, you were talking about, you watched it. It's very similar in this aspect to me, where there's a great 5 to 6 card Move package that already exists prior to this. And you don't need Hercules in it. You don't need Kraven in it. But now I'm going to be doing a little bit more of a lean in on the Move package piece of it and take away some of the other tech and see how it feels. And I'm very scared that Kraven and Hercules are going to make this package more cracked and will become not just the best deck in the game, but an infuriating deck, because we talked about it when Madam Web also dropped. We talked about it when we talked about my favorite 5-cost cards. You know, Vision, love him because of the indecision. Madam Web, same thing. It's nothing but indecision the entire game. New York, when you play up against New York on turn 6, I hate playing New York games. Because you're screwed basically the entire time going, do they move it? Do they not? Right. This, if move becomes too relevant, this becomes frustrating for a general portion of the player base. So when it's move versus Hela about which is going to be the better deck, I think the higher, I think higher you go, you're going to find more and more and more move, because it is a very difficult deck to operate. The addition of Kraven and Hercules is actually going to ruin the statistics, because more people are going to play it and more people are going to fail at playing it. So you're going to see the stats of generally on like Untapped or SnapFan or any of the sites, you're going to see the general stats of these move packages and these move cards probably drop over the next week, because everyone's like, ooh, let me try move again. Now that this Hercules is better, now that this Kraven is better. And then we're probably, if I had to make a prediction, we're probably going to find out that those two changes are not for the package that's good. It's going to be for stuff that comes out next season. So I expect this to be good for move if you want to play a full move deck only. But this like 3/4 style where you put like 1 or 2 little tech pieces, maybe a Shang-Chi, maybe a Green Goblin. If you go full move, if you're going to commit, this is great. But if you're not going to go full move, I don't think you need 100%. Either of those 2 pieces. But I am willing to tank my rank to test it and find out if that's true. Because I ran a deck the last 2 days. It's half clog, half move. I absolutely love it. I climbed another 8,000 ranks. I ran 80 games with it. It ran a 0.8 cube rate in 80 games and had a 70% win rate. Like, and it uses 5 move cards. So I don't know what I'm going to take out to put in Kraven and Hercules. Yet alone if it's necessary.
I just don't think that. I think that would be generated strictly for what its intent is, right? Like you wouldn't be adding certain shit in there that shouldn't be in there. That's a pretty direct, mission you have there, synergy you have there. So I don't think that you would be adding.
Is it really synergy though? That's my whole point, right? Like he has a clog move, right? I'm playing a Galactus move, right? Or Galactus Panther move, right? He's playing a clog move. That goes back to my whole point, saying move is a whole lot easier now. We put move in every list now if we want, and we can win regardless of what synergy it has or not. And that's why I think move, as guest said, is going to be very upsetting for a lot of people to play up against when it gets even better, and when people figure out how to use Kraven and Hercules in a certain move list that can't be stopped is going to be an issue, right? Because the only way you're stopping move is by walking with Shang-Chi and probably even Shadow King and Alioth, right? You're going to need to walk with these cards. Now, the list that we all been playing, do we have Shadow King, Shang-Chi, or Alioth in it? Not at all. You do? You have all 3 of them in there?
2 out of 3. It has both Shang-Chi.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Shadow King.
Yeah, okay, Shadow King and Shang-Chi. But
so there you go.
I will say there is a very key difference that we need to articulate for the majority of the community. When we're talking about the move package, we are very clearly talking about making sure that it's a deck that has both Madam Web and Aranya.
Correct.
Because if you don't have those 2 cards, the core move package that is so successful right now, you can't just say, oh, I'll just put in Hercules and Kraven. It'll be a good replacement. No, these are enablers.
Yeah, correct.
You can't change that.
In my opinion, Madam Web is a must. Madam Web.
Yes.
You gotta have Madam Web.
Yes, because like I said, you put Hercules in one lane, Kraven in the other lane, Madam Web just
I'm still back and forth on if Silver Sable or Madam Web is my favorite card of the season now, retrospectively.
Silver Sable. All right, let's go into the next, because we're going to talk about this all night. Let's get into the next card. The next card, of course, is my pick for the best card this season, and that was Scarlet Spider. Now, that card came out with some hope. I mean, we saw a lot of people play it in many ways. I saw guests really trying to prove me right. and make lists to try to make sure this card was as good as I said it would be. And it did okay. I can actually admit that that card was not the best card this season.
I believe you gave it a diamond, correct?
Yeah, I did give it a diamond, but
it was a diamond. He definitely said diamond, right?
yes.
I'm just confirming that, right? Okay, good.
Yes, no, it was diamond. That's what I heard.
Listen. It's because of the meta that we're in currently. Okay, once the meta gets taken care of, Scarlet Spider will be a wonderful card. I think him getting
activate, then it'll be.
I think he needs to come down in costs. Make him a 3, and I think he'll be a phenomenal card. Or buff him in power, and I think he'll be even better. So that's the issue. That was the issue with Scarlet Spider. I still put him. Well, no, I can't say he's a diamond now, but he is definitely a double platinum. I would bring him down a notch to double platinum. No, because when he hits, right? If you think about Panther and everything else, you hit him with a Nomura, you do all the things you need to do. He is a phenomenal card, but he's definitely not a diamond. What's your guys' take on Scarlet Spider?
I like Scarlet Spider. I think it's a good card. I know. Shh, don't tell nobody.
Double platinum? Come on, what's wrong with double platinum?
Wait. Yeah, you're still overranked.
So you're saying that Scarlet Spider was better than Silver Sable?
Yes.
You're saying that Scarlet Spider is better than Madam Web?
No.
Is Madam Web a diamond card?
Yes. You gave it a diamond, so we give it a diamond. Yes.
I said
platinum.
Is Scarlet Spider better than Aranya?
Yes.
No.
Yes. 1000% yes.
Well, you know what? I can see that. I can see the.
Listen, you can put Aranya in a lot of lists. I've been putting her in Black Panther or Galactus. She's great for that surprise. But you know what I could have done too? I could have put Iron Fist in a list, or even Cloak in a list, and do exactly what I need. Not Ghost Spider.
Oh,
Iron Fist. If I wanted to move a card out of the lane after I play it, right? Or Cloak, right? So Aranya is a great card. Not saying she's not good, but I still think Scarlet Spider is better than her. Madam Web is the best card this season. Second to that is Symbiote Spider-Man. And then third is Scarlet Spider.
It's been a lot of fun being on this podcast. It's too bad nobody's going to fucking listen to it after this week. Scarlet, here's the thing with Scarlet Spider to me. The conception of the card is really cool. I love the idea of what this card does. I love that there's some crazy things that you can do with the card, right? If you get the whole and kudos and shout out to Tucker for the spotlight video as well for Scarlet Spider.
That was the one I was going to talk about it.
He created some massive combos. You get 80 power Scarlet Spiders to happen with Wong and Shuri and all these things. Like it really, really cool synergies that you can make it happen to make a dedicated win condition out of Scarlet Spider. Very similar to how you kind of build a win condition for Galactus, right? It's the same idea. You want the one big thing to happen. If you get it, you get it. You don't, right? With that said, that keeps this card incredibly narrow. And the amount of outs that this card has for getting an alternate condition to use this card as being quote unquote okay even, we thought 410 was going to be good stats. Turns out 410 in one lane, in one spot, great stats. 4-5 in two different locations, not as good. To me, I felt like in this meta right now.
Yeah, with Hela, yes. But
right. It's not even Hela. It's not even Hela. It's not Hela. It's not Hela. This is a points meta. This is a go super tall, get the big thing to happen meta. And there are decks that get the big thing to happen way easier than any combination of Scarlet Spider decks. So I think the conception of Scarlet Spider is great. And I agree with you that it should be a 3-cost card, because now you're changing the purpose of what the card does. And I've sat and I've thought about this a lot, because I tried really hard to make this card a generically okay good card. And I still believe its best home is to be in decks that want to play Doctor Doom and or Ultron on turn 6, because it's not even about getting the clone bonus buff of Patriot or that. No, not for that reason, just because wherever it ends up, it's going to be a better option than having another clone drop down. Another drone drop down, right? It's just an upgrade for stats. And in that instance, because of the unpredictability, it does make it a good card in that style of deck. But I think it needs to be, and I think the perfect balance on this is this needs to be a 3/3. And I was originally on the train of 3/4, and I kept thinking about it like, oh, these are good stats, etc. But the problem is it will become a surfer card. 100% this becomes a surfer card guaranteed. And
like a traveling brood.
and that's exactly why I said 3/3, because brood is the equivalent of doing a 3/6. So this needs to be the equivalent of doing a 3/6 that doesn't get as much benefit from surfer in comparison to brood. So I think this at 3/3 would be an incredible card, because now you play like Makari and Scarlet Spider. You're getting 2 free 3-cost cards without you having to play a single piece of energy. So, or use a single piece of energy. So I like the idea of Scarlet Spider. I want Scarlet Spider to be good. It was my worst card of the month coming into the month, and it is my worst card of the month coming out of the month. And I still believe we will need to find a new host next week. Because you can't keep coming to work drunk, man.
I am not drunk. You think Sable? Okay, nonetheless. See,
yes, Silver Sable and Madam Web are like 1 and 2, and I'm still back and forth on which one's the better card of the month. But
I'm not as high on Sable as you are. I see you really like Sable. I think she's okay, but I just don't. I don't think she's as up there as you think she is.
She's a 1/5.
She's a 1 cost.
Yes,
that's why. That's exactly why.
Yeah, for the ratio of what you get out of her, for the ease in which you make it happen. Yet alone, you can have it happen multiple times if you want to run that style of deck. She's a generically good 1-drop that you never feel bad playing on turn 1.
Okay, and I'm with you.
That's a 1/5 with no downside.
I feel like it doesn't when it happens. It happens to me a lot. People play a lot of Silver Sable, and I think people are thinking as guessed. Yeah, as such a great card, and I agree with you. The stats on her are awesome. I just feel like when it happens to me, it doesn't feel as sorry about that, guys. It doesn't feel as bad. You know what I mean? Like, I got hit, but I'm gonna live. See another day. Like it's not gonna kill me that I got Silver Sabled. You know what I mean? That's why I don't think it stops me in any type of way from doing the things I want to do. Yeah, it sucked. It took me down a power, but it didn't throw me off course. You know what I mean? So that's why I don't feel she's as impactful as you do, but I do see your point as in the stat line. It really does kind of equate if you think about it. But if I don't play those cards, it doesn't really make a difference, right?
But if you don't play it, right? If you don't play it, then it's not 1/5, right? Exactly. So exactly, I agree.
It's still a 1/3.
Right. Still not bad.
Right? Tell me I'm wrong. It's still a 1/3. It's a 0 with no downside.
Yeah, not wrong.
What card were we talking about? I'm sorry, I got thrown off by the Silver Sable.
Scarlet Spider.
Scarlet Spider, yeah. I like Scarlet Spider. I agree with both of you. It needs to be a 3. I tried it with some Miss Marvel shenanigans, you know what I mean? Getting that Scarlet Spider into somewhere else. Sometimes it hit, sometimes it didn't. We'll go in the same lane as Miss Marvel. The curve there's a little rough, with Miss Marvel being played either on 4 or 5. You know what I mean? It made it a little difficult. Well, then you got the Doom, and then you get the buff there. I like that. My favorite list with Scarlet Spider had to be Tucker. I believe it was Tucker with the Namora list.
Yeah.
Yes, that was one of my favorites. That was the one that I really felt really went well with Scarlet Spider. I don't think he's gonna change the meta in any type of way. I don't think he's gonna hit hard in any type of way. Do like it in Patriot, like Guess said, it is a better option than having one of those Ultron drones. Yes, I was trying to figure out what those Ultron drones. It's a way better option than that. You get the additional 4 with that. So I like that. It's a cool card. Double platinum in my opinion. Not necessarily platinum like I thought it was. or double platinum like Tech says it is. I just don't think it has
Double
that
gold.
much of an impact. Oh, yeah, I say double gold. I said platinum before when we were talking.
Oh, gotcha.
I said platinum or double platinum because I was high on this card because of I was thinking the buffs you can do to it to get it. Just seems like a lot to do for a card that's not really going to impact your game the way that you want it to. So I just think it's an okay card. It's a good tool to have. It's just not going to win you the game necessarily.
Yeah. I wish it was inactivated. Maybe it was on reveal. I feel better.
I have an odd idea, and this could be applied to Scarlet Spider, or this could be applied to really any card in the future, but I want to get your take on this. So one of the things that always feels so bad about Scarlet Spider is you need to buff it, right? It has to have the synergy in some capacity of you want to get it to Shuri, you want to get it to, Hulkbuster, you want to forge,
you're trying to Ironheart it, you're trying to do everything more.
You're doing everything you can to get this card to do its thing. What if this card or any other card in the future, they had a card have the ability to not reveal on the turn you play it and reveal the next turn? Because then think about the play line of Scarlet Spider. If it doesn't reveal, you play it down on turn 4. It's like Lemuria, right? It stays unrevealed.
I was trying to pronounce it in my head. I was like, if I say it wrong, Guess is gonna get on my ass. I don't feel like hearing that. So let me get it right.
I got you. So, but think of how that affects the play line then, because now it's also like Supergiant in that sense, where cards are slightly out of order. Because then you can play it down on turn 4, but then afterwards play Forge as the last card of turn 5. It reveals, and then it gets the Forge buff, because now you were able to use it later on. Or something like Hulkbuster, which you can always want to play later on, but it changes the timing of maybe you need it to be an individual card. Like there's a lot you could do there with a delayed reveal. And I think that's something that should come to a card in Marvel Snap. A card like Scarlet Spider would absolutely thrive with having just one delay, because it's doing nothing on the turn anyway. So let it be played. Make it a 3-cost card, so that way you could do it on either turn 3 or turn 4. Don't let it reveal for one turn and then go into it with its with its activate effect that you can activate later on. I think that makes it a much more interesting card, and buffing it ends up being a lot easier because you then permit the timing to be a little bit different and give yourself more chance to buff the card.
I like that. Or just put Shuri back how she was. That fixes all problems.
Oh my God.
Make sure you activate.
That would be such a big problem. I would love Shuri to be activate. That would be so good. That would be so awesome.
That's a scary thought.
But that'd be great. I mean, if Scarlet Spider, guess we were in the same path as me. I was thinking more so making my on reveal, then I will feel better, because then I could do all I need to do prior to dropping him, and then once he hits, he gets the buff, then splits. I would have felt way better, because then you could have definitely played him last, right? Get the whole package out you wanted, whether you do the Odin, Shuri, Forge, whatever you want, right? To get crazy with it and then drop him on the last turn. He gets the buff and split. That'd have been pretty awesome. But I think him being an on reveal, he probably would have split, then get the buff. Either way, don't matter.
Yeah.
On to the next card. On to the next topic. And that is, of course, what we've been talking about recently. And we're not going to dive too much more into it, but the September season is now over. We haven't seen the video for the next season as of yet. October is looking to be a phenomenal month with a bunch of more symbiotes. This time it's the Venom side of things. These cards look very interesting. We spoke about it before. We'll dive more into it next week. But I think for September, I give this overall season, as it pertains to all the new cards and everything else, a platinum. Only a platinum because it introduced a new mechanic, which was activate. We did have some fun cards. Move got a significant amount of help, and I am a big fan of Move. And I think, all in all, as it pertains to the cards, not the meta, September definitely gets a platinum in my eyes. How do you feel about it, Sino?
This was the season of Move. This was definitely where Move came back and came back with a vengeance. I'm not a big Move player. so necessarily not the biggest appeal to me. Though these changes, I think I want to start running some move. I'm not gonna lie, and I think that was the whole point of all these cards. I think it was just to lure people who don't play move to maybe want to start dibble and dabble in it and see what it's about and try to appease people and make them, you know, just open their minds to a different style and a different tech. So I'm gonna give this season, due to the dynamic cards with Symbiote Spider-Man, Madam Web, Activate was launched, I'm going to give this season a platinum.
I guess, how you feel?
I'm right on par with all y'all. I think this is a platinum season. I think the combination of Activate and bringing up Move all by itself, those two pieces changed up enough of Marvel Snap that we can say that it's constantly fresh, it's constantly changing, and that means it was successful. They did what they seeked to do. You look at another season in comparison, you think back to the Black Order, where they were like, oh, we're going to give Corvus and Proxima, and this is going to be the rise of discard. Mm-hmm. And it didn't really hit the same way versus this season where Aranya and Madam Web absolutely made move relevant in Marvel Snap, especially right now, yet alone we don't know what's going to look like in the future. They brought it up to a, hey, you really want to pay attention to these cards. You know, remember that dagger piece where everyone's like, hey, this is really good stats, guys. We're just going to give you 2 more pieces that actually get to move the card around. And now people love it.
Dagger's so good. Yeah.
Dagger's stats are just
Dagger's so
absolutely
good.
And we're about to see a whole ton of Daggers.
And now with Hercules getting, my geez.
And the Craven,
guys, about to be your Shang-Chi's.
I think we also didn't mention that Discard also got a little love this season, also with Hellcow being an Activate and really coming in and
we don't want to talk about. We don't want to talk.
No,
about
I don't think. I'm not saying Justin. I'm not saying Justin Hela, but like even in APOC decks now with Hellcow in there, it's kind of cracked.
We could debate this. Hellcow's only being played in Hela decks.
Well, if you're having fun, I've played them in the APOC card list. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so of course.
It definitely brings it up a step. So I think it's even elevated even more since the Corvus edition and all that, Meek and all that.
The Activate for Hellcow was huge.
It's insane.
But the Activate for Black Swan,
you're a step ahead of me. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. Like, what is it going to take to make that good?
Yeah, it's a rough
one cost. Make it a one cost.
I haven't even didn't even appeal to me.
You should have kept it on reveal, make it a 1 cost. I think it sucks. It sucks that this card is not getting the love it needs.
That shit ongoing. I bet everybody's gonna use it.
Yeah, that too. This is all the time.
Make that ongoing. You see what happens.
You see Thanos be the. Then everybody gets mad at Thanos. Stop right now. See, don't say
Thanos
that.
isn't the same Thanos. Thanos only affects Thanos.
Yeah, but that's those 0 cost, those ones with Zoo too. Stop talking, bro.
No. Lockjaw will be insane.
No, it wouldn't even be. It wouldn't even. And that's scary. But it's not even that I would worry about. I'd worry about bounce.
Oh yeah,
because if they take these lessons and applied it to Black Swan as an ongoing and made her like a 4/6 that does the same thing of your 1 costs are free. I don't know about you, but have you ever played bounce when Elysium's on the board?
Yes, it's the best thing on the
planet. You'd literally be building that. Like,
how do you pronounce that, guys, in chat? I say Elysium. You said Elysium?
Yeah.
Intriguing. I say tomato, I guess. I say Elysium too.
Yeah.
Chat, let us know down below how you feel.
Wrong?
Well,
Elysium?
Elysium it's because a lot of people think of the word Elysian, like Elysian space dust, for those who know what that is. But that's where you get the je in there. But diction wise, it could be either je or is, but you know.
Location pronunciation.
I'm going to get too nerdy on diction, but anyway, I'll back off and say, I'll simply say that Black Swan, even though they tried, that was a miss. And they got to go back to the drawing board again with Black Swan somehow. Like they can't get it.
Give it to Zabu. Just give the Activate to Zabu. What were they thinking?
Oh, please,
No,
please, please.
no, don't do that. No. Don't give Zabu.
Oh, that would
Do
be
not
so good.
give Zabu activate at 2 cost. You do not want the meta back of 2 4 cost cards coming down on turn 6. You don't.
Yes, you do.
You don't. You don't.
Yes,
you don't want Shang-Chi and Miss Marvel coming down again on turn 6. You don't want Enchantress and that coming down on turn 6 again. You were gonna hate that meta. You're gonna hate the tech meta. No offense, tech. You're gonna hate the tech meta coming back if you do that.
I welcome the tech meta. we welcome it with our move cards. What lane you gonna punch my big vulture? And you don't know my vulture's going. We're gonna punch my dagger.
Big vulture. Hey, yo, you gotta chill out.
What you gonna do? Enchantress my Madam Web on the final turn? I ain't scared of you.
You gotta chill out. You gotta relax.
Oh man! All right, fair enough. No activate Zabu. Yeah, they gotta figure out what they're gonna do with Black Swan.
We're I was gonna say we gotta fill topic 6 anyway. So like,
yeah.
Who else? Give me one other card that deserves activate besides Zabu,
Shuri?
in your opinion.
And Shuri,
I had said it
that you haven't mentioned this podcast.
Okay.
That you haven't mentioned this podcast.
Okay.
That is so dope.
It's a tougher question than you realize because, as you can tell from their silence, we're not prepared on this. It's a legitimate question. I ask this to the community very often too. Of like, we need activate cards. They're gonna have to refresh old cards as well. So I think a part of it means that you don't assign it to Series 1 or Series 2 cards. I think none of those should be activate. That should be something that you learn in Series 3. It's something to look forward to.
I got one.
Shoot.
I got one. I'm thinking, because I was thinking like activate. I'm like, what doesn't have an activate yet? Destroy does not have an activate. I was thinking a way to bring up and bring some spice to maybe Deathlock, maybe make him an activate. Usually in Destroy cardless, Deathlock is used, but a lot of the times he's left out. And Carnage, cards like Carnage, Venom, Lady Deathstrike at times. Yeah, I would think maybe a Destroy card that's controllable. A Destroy card that you can choose when to destroy. You know what I mean? Like,
even Carnage or Venom.
Well, I was thinking that, but I think those cards are already so important. I think those cards are already so dynamic in the game that elevating something that maybe isn't necessarily used. And maybe Deathlock is the wrong card because maybe Deathlock is used a lot by some people, but I think it brings spice.
I know. I really, really like that. I really
fill
like
that lane up. Yeah. Fill that lane up with him sitting there. And when you're ready, you can trigger.
Maybe some Nimrod shenanigans.
Yeah.
When you're exactly ready,
that's what I'm saying. My head went to Nimrod immediately. I'm like, you get 3 destroys on the final turn because you went Carnage, Venom, and Deathlock all on turn 6.
Away from just the destroy meta, you have Deathlock in your card list. You can be prepared for Clog. You can be prepared for, you know what I mean? Just those Annihilus shenanigans where they're sending goblins at you or voids or stuff like that. You have a Deathlock also to wait there. And you're like, oh, you're going to play that void? You're going to send it over? Okay, no problem. Put Deathlock right there. I'm going to wait till you do, and then I'll activate them. You know what I mean? So I think that might give it some spice.
No joke. That's probably the best idea I've ever heard you say on this podcast.
Oh, thank you. Well, I got a lot of
legitimately. That is because it's so on par with what that archetype needs. And it fixes the one thing that they were previously worried about, which is having destroy cards both at 3 cost. Because I don't know if you remember, there was a time where they almost went live with a 4/5 Venom. And part of the reasoning for it was because you have Deathlock at 3 cost. So to make Deathlock like a 3/5, keep him at 3/5 and just make him activate, that would be awesome. Absolutely freaking awesome. I'm 100% on board for that. That's great.
I wish too.
I was thinking Killmonger, but even Killmonger is still so dynamic right now in what he does.
You make him activate?
That's scary though.
That's scary. You know what else is broken? Scary. Activate MODOK. MODOK would just make Hela and even APOC, any of those.
You can't do that.
Now that they have Hellcow, you already have something in discard.
No. I'm just saying that would be just. I'm thinking about things that could be broken and activate. Would be those two would just be Killmonger and Hellcat.
Like if we're talking crack shit, what if Zola was activate? Like, hey,
that needs to be activate. To be honest, with you.
But then you'd have to drop its cost.
Yeah, you'd have to drop or cheat it out.
Of course, drop his cost. No, drop his cost to 4. Knock yourself out.
But does Zola need that love?
Oh, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
It's a good card in and of itself.
It's already a dynamic card the way it is. Yeah, it does not need that.
But guys, the way that we can move cards over there, like when we're ready, like have him in a lane and just start getting cards buffed, move it to him, activate, he sends it across.
That would be cracked.
Yeah. Everybody can work with armor. I think armor should be the activate card. That's where my pick was. The fact that we can use armor to activate, I think, would be pretty awesome. You put armor down on the field. Of course, you see somebody trying to run a Zola or try to do something like destroy. You can then activate the armor, or you can protect yourself, right? You get your card in that lane, activate armor. You should be sitting pretty, not worrying about any Shang-Chi's, etc. at that point.
Is that also because you want to choose when to protect yourself? Like you want to like chi a lane and then bring the armor up?
Correct. If you wanted to, of course. Or if you wanted to Zola, right, and do something else and then bring the armor up, right? So this way, the problem with the Panther Olus, if you put armor in that lane and you buff him, you can't get him out, right? But this way, you have him sitting there. You can do a lot of cool things. You can, again, like you said, also destroy the other side, then protect yourself from them. Or you can bait your opponent to go ahead and not play in that lane or try to do something before you activate that armor. But I think armor would be a cool ability to be.
One I did not think about. I did not think about armor.
I worry about armor only because one of the big play lines, at least for armor, is to protect on certain locations, not just defense. Like playing it down on Death's Domain is a huge play for armor. And if you're activating, if I'm the opponent and I see the unactivated armor, I'm just pretending armor's activated the entire time. So I'm probably staying away from that lane, and it's just as forecasted early versus the snipe that happens later on, like a turn 5 on reveal. Turn 5 ongoing. So I worry about armor in that aspect. But I have one that I think would be appropriate because it actually does make the card better. Crystal.
Ooh, okay.
I think Crystal makes a load of sense because now you've got 2 options on how to use Crystal in her current format, where, hey, both of us get a card, or go ahead and do it on turn 6. And now it's a hand loader. So it helps your Ronin decks. Yeah. I don't think that hurts at all.
Hela deck too.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, it would help Hela. Oh my God.
It would help. Yeah, Hela.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Oh. All right, fine. Then change instead of doing that. Just make Maximus a 2/5.
I actually have a Crystal in my Hela Tribunal deck, so it's like I can't wait till it's activate. Go ahead, please.
No. Then you're right. That would be too scary. That would be way too scary to do that. Then just change it to Maximus as a 2/5 activate. Same idea.
Same thing though. Well, you're giving your opponent 2 cards, so
you can help for Ronin, right? That helps for Ronin.
Yeah, that's what helps for Ronin.
Cards in your opponent's side.
Right. So you got to lower the power to justify the timing.
Mm-hmm. What I think needs to happen is a way to activate a card in your hand. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see an activating card in your hand.
But how would I'm trying to understand. Like, elaborate more on that.
We have no cards that do anything from your hand. I'm thinking more like Yu-Gi-Oh! That's the reason why I'm saying what I'm saying. We don't have any cards right now.
Let's say a card would buff your hand. You could activate and it would buff your hand. Like
not even buff your hand. I'm just saying do something from your hand. No. I'm saying do something, not buff your hand. Do something from your hand. Whether it be destroy something on a field from your hand or pull your opponent's card from their deck into your hand, something that could be done from your hand. We have nothing that does that now, right? We have nothing that you can activate or control from your hand. And I just feel, if you think about Yu-Gi-Oh, I think activate is kind of a Yu-Gi-Oh style card where you can activate something from your hand.
Trap.
Like I think, right. Well, even trap, right? Because trap cards, magic cards, you can activate from your hand. So I'm assuming even some type of cards. No,
even some type of card. It just
you don't have to.
Goes in your hand and does whatever it needs to do.
Even some type of monster cards in Yu-Gi-Oh, you can activate from your hand. Like pairing with something on the field too.
The only reason I worry about that is you think of a card like Makari, right? Makari is a 0 energy card, and it's random to put 4 power somewhere randomly on the board. No agency whatsoever. And it's a mediocre card for that reason. And I think an activate card in hand, which is basically here, you can activate this in your hand, and it costs no energy to get the effect of this card. The most I could ever see them doing is basically a Makari. It's a 1 power card. It's like a wasp that you can just activate, and it leaves your hand at a random time that you choose to activate the card from your hand.
What about a spider ham or something that affects your opponent's hand or your opponent's side from your hand?
It has to be on the board. You can't do it hand to hand. It's not that kind of combat.
The handband, that my thing is, it would negate being played. Like, you wouldn't even have to play it. Like,
again, that would be borked. That would be too broken. To have ham never have to leave your hand and get that damaging of an effect, that would be straight up borked.
No, I hear you. I'm just saying.
It would have to be something a little less impactful.
Well, I think
exactly.
You look at it from also that your hand is getting full with a card that you can't play or don't need to be played because you're just activating its ability that one turn. So you putting it in your deck is kind of screwing you over as well, right? Because now your hand is full of a card.
So it's a 0 power card then?
Correct. And all it does is activate. Like, we don't have anything. I mean, Hela brings back every card, but like, I'm just thinking about anything down the line that can either help you or hurt your opponent. So, for example, kind of like, what Gore the God Butcher was supposed to be, and destroy all 6-cost cards where they are. You activate that without playing it. It destroys 6-cost cards. You could do crazy stuff with that. Or I'm just saying,
what if it was like a Nico? What if it was like a Nico and it was
like a Nico?
An assortment of things. As soon as it entered your hand, it either discarded a card or destroyed a card in your hand, or it buffs the card, left card in your hand, or it buffs the mid card. That's the only way I could see something like that actually happen.
If you think it's Snap, there you go. That's fine too. Buff the right card on your hand, discard the left card on your hand.
It'd be a random series of RNG events that would come out and get dealt into your hand, and then
You're thinking Nico. I'm just saying, if you didn't have that.
But that would be in hand. Nico has to be played for these things to take an effect.
Of course.
So it gets drawn, and then effects will take place.
Next turn, right? Next turn, then you'll be able to activate the card in your hand, and it could do anything if you're thinking Snap-wise. Flip on the field like Makari, or discard the right card like Blade, or discard the left card like this. So discard a 5-cost card in your hand, or do something like do a Moon Knight, right? Discard 2 sides, destroy your opponent's side and your side. I'm just thinking about something to activate from your hand. I don't know if we will ever get to that, but I think activate the activate mechanic itself, to me, could be something that is utilized from your hand. Doesn't have to be played on the field.
Interesting. It's a thinker.
Because right now, that's what we're doing, right? We have a card in our hand, we play it, we have to wait the next turn anyway, activate. Why can't we not have a card in our hand that we can then go, let me activate this card from my hand? And whether it do something like Scorpion and it attacks all your opponent's side,
I got a variation on something that could probably work, because it would work for Marvel Snap.
Okay, right. Let's see that. There we go.
Activate from whatever card blank is. It could be whatever, right? Activate this from your hand, remove the ability from the top card of your deck, and randomly place it on the board.
Okay. I'm with you.
Because to me, then, because now it's a dead card in your hand. It's a dead card, kind of, sort of, on the board. But if it hits something bad, now you're working on the RNG of knowing what's in your deck. It could hit something bad. It could hit something good. It's like Blink. It's like Lockjaw. It's like Jubilee in that. Jubilee in that aspect of what's there. And now you've got a Howard synergy involved of like, okay, I can hey, Infinite's on the top of my deck. Perfect. Now I know it. And Infinite can get the Patriot buff. Great. Awesome. Now you got a Drac Dump deck that wants to run that style of card. So something along those lines.
Yes. You just give me a great idea.
Works.
What if we stop having to play Stormbreaker and Mjolnir and just activate them from your hand? That's something like that, right? Because you get that from you get that. How's it crack? You get that draw,
board space. You need board space.
My whole point is instead of it taking up board space, you activate it from your hand.
But that's a part of the game. The restriction of 12 cards and 12 spaces is what justifies the power increase of those cards.
I hear you. I'm just saying, but you're laughing, but now you don't have to worry about people putting it on wall.
Cheating, don't get me wrong. I think it's awesome, and if we can do that, that'd be fantastic. But I think that shit is cheating.
I'm just thinking, but something like that. I mean, I think it'll be fun. But I hear you guys. Chat, let us know what you guys think.
Cheating.
The question is, what cards do you feel should be active in the game?
You can't even put like Cosmo or something to stop that. That's ridiculous.
You can't stop Millionaire Stormbreaker. I get it. But I'm just saying, think about that. We started getting token cards. Like, what if you got Adamantium for Wolverine and you activated it? Now Wolverine, when you destroy, he gets +4 now.
That's actually pretty cool. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm just saying
that one I actually like. That was kind of cracked.
I like that one.
That one.
That gets here on the video. I'm gonna give a point to SuperTechGod. We're just gonna slash there.
Oh my God.
You earned a gold star for that one. That was good.
Yeah, do that one.
All right, I'm done. All right. So now, before we end off this wonderful podcast, I know we've been talking for a lot. Here's the part of the podcast that has nothing to do with Snap, kind of. Welcome, guys, to the Pokemon TCG Pocket Podcast. And we are here to talk about the wonderful game that had just been released in New Zealand. And boy, are my arms tired. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you're from New Zealand or take a flight there, you are able to install and download.
A kindergarten joke. I'll never know. I'll never understand how you butchered a kindergarten joke. But go ahead, keep going.
I said I flew in and my arms are tired. What's that?
You said I was in New Zealand, and my arms are tired. I was just like,
and I'm back home now.
He was just a Kiwi, just walking around going,
"It's a
Kiwi." Shout out to Kiwi. Shout out to Kiki. That's always in the stream.
Kiki, KK, and everybody in between. Listen, but for real though, because it is a Marvel Snap podcast with Pokemon Pocket, there are a couple things that we should talk about. Okay, I put out a video because I was very much so interested in playing the game, coming from coming from the perspective of a Marvel Snap player. What do you not only need to know, but now after playing it after a day, and I know, Tech, you flew there as well. I flew there as well. And we tried out the game. And a lot of people are talking about this game as being the next Marvel Snap because it's a mobile only game. It's a card collector. You can customize your collection. It's small decks and fast battles, right? I articulated, don't you giggle, you small child.
Dicks, baby.
Okay. So
small dicks and big battles.
It's a whole nother podcast now. But
it is.
Yeah, I articulated, and everyone in the comments agree or disagree with us. Listen, I will say, after researching the game last week and then getting ready to film the video, I was very much so on par with getting on the train that this is going to be something that's going to compete with Marvel Snap. And Marvel Snap, and will Marvel Snap players migrate to it? Will they enjoy it more? What is, etc. After playing it on stream this morning for about 6 hours and then continuing to play it off stream as well, I could say the game is fun. It's very simple to run and operate. I'm curious to see how it expands when it comes to further sets and the different decks in which you can create with these cards for these adjusted small battles, because I can already see a couple of small potential future problems with, like, hey, this is too meta. They need to change this card ASAP because for this style of game, it doesn't work, or it's too OP. But in general, I do think that this is something that Marvel Snap players would enjoy playing. But I'm less on the train of it being a stealer of an audience. I think that this is a great game to collaborate into your gaming routine if you like card games, yet alone if you like fast card games. I was definitely a fan. I'm going to continue on the train of, playing the game over the weekend, get a couple more days under my belt. I might stream it even tomorrow. I'm not sure. It just depends. I got a bunch of stuff to do too. But I think from the perspective of a Marvel Snap player, the release in New Zealand of Pokemon TCG Pocket is something to keep an eye on, not because it's a dangerous thing, but because it's a good thing for the market to have a lateral piece of competition.
Agreed. It is definitely, I mentioned this on the stream today when people came on and asked about it. It is definitely part of what we're going to coin and make some merch on. We're going to call it the games that belong on the toilet squad. Okay. These are games that you could play quickly on the toilet. And it's definitely a part of that brand now, because people came in, somebody came in and they really had a big issue. They were like, listen, Pokemon TCG Live's been out for months now, and I can play this on my game already. Why would I want to play TCG Pocket? And I explained to him, I said, well, TCG Live is a full-fledged version of Pokemon TCG. This is a watered-down version, like how Yu-Gi-Oh! Has Master Duel and Duel Links. I said Marvel Snap and Duel Links, and this game is part of the toilet squad. People can sit on the toilet and get a quick game, get up, wipe, and go. So this is exactly what this is all about. And in regards to Snap, I kind of am in the same boat with guests, where leading up to it, you would think, all right, this is going to be something fun. We all grew up on Pokemon. It's nostalgic. We're going to enjoy this. We all love Marvel as well. It's something fresh, something new, something fun to do. Then I started collecting, opening up packs, and that felt phenomenal. I can't wait till Snap hopefully brings that to that side of their game. But the collection and getting the different cards, you guys know I love collecting cards. That was fun. I had a blast doing that on stream. Then it got to the battles. The tutorials were great. Shout out to tutorials. Everybody should definitely do that once they get their hands on it. Playing the game, it definitely have a Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links vibe for me, which is not a problem. Does not say it's bad. It's great. As it compares to Snap, however, Snap battles are way more exciting. And that's what I kept telling people today.
Yeah.
This is definitely two different IPs, two different games, but with the same mindset of quick battles, get your collection up, show off your collection, and enjoy your 5 to 10 minute battle when you're on the toilet. And I think Pokemon Pocket covers that 100%. Is it going to steal Snap players? I don't think so. If you had one foot out the door already, you might take that leap, but I'm sure you'll be back as well.
Yeah.
100%. If you, as a content creator trying to make content on Pokemon Pocket, it is doable. The biggest thing about Snap that I like the most is being able to communicate with your people, right? Like, we always say that. When you're playing Snap, you can communicate with the people in chat.
Correct.
When you're playing Pokemon Pocket, you can do the same thing. Like, people in TikTok, shout out to TikTok, by the way. They blew up today. They were doing awesome things, helping me play today. Being able to play with people on TikTok and them telling me, tech, do this, add that, do this, and it was working well. That is what I'm talking about. That's what being a content creator and streaming this game is all about.
It's a very interactive experience, right? Like you got to really interact with your chat.
Correct.
You guys almost got to learn the game together, right? It's an experience.
100%.
Yes. And that to me was fun. And I think that's from our side of it. We're going to enjoy it. I don't think it's going to replace Snap for us. And I think that's the biggest question people are asking. Is it better than Snap? Is it a Snap killer? Is it going to replace Snap? The answer is no. I don't think it will replace Snap at all. I think it will be a part of everybody's next thing to do. We're going to make content on it. We're going to have fun on it. We'll probably do podcasts or whatever the case is. But I don't think it's going to replace Snap whatsoever. They might need to make some changes to battle mode if they need to get to that level. I'm not saying they need to be fast paced. You can wait your turn. Like I said, I'm accustomed to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. I just think the excitement in battling isn't Snap.
I will say though. Oh, sorry. Go ahead and finish your point. My apologies.
No. I'm good. That's basically it.
Okay.
When it comes to the battles, my excitement is way more into Snap than it is in the Pokemon TCG Pocket.
As of right now, I'll agree with you. I think Snap is a much more complicated game given the quantity of cards and mechanics that are currently out there versus what's already one series in Snap. However, on the other end of it, there is one thing about this game that Snap needs to absolutely hit out of the park comparatively now that we see it. So if you're on the YouTube side, you're going to be able to see, or on watching this on video on Spotify, the ability to slice open packs and unlock cards is such an insanely awesome thing.
Yes.
It's such a nice mechanic, and as a player, I want that a dopamine. It's like when you get to open spotlight caches for Marvel Snap, right? It's about
I was gonna say that exact thing.
It's that feeling of what do you get, right? But we only get that basically once a week. This, I've opened, I don't even want to tell you how many packs I've opened today. Not as many as I'd like. I'll tell you that for damn sure.
Yeah,
I want to open more.
Dopamine and the excitement of getting a new card and just being excited and wanting to try it out and maybe upgrade it and really, go ham and experience that card. Yeah, I agree. Marvel Snap could learn a thing or two about these
100%. Yes. Yeah, I feel the same way, buddy. I was like, I'm not putting any more money into this game right now. This game for free-to-play players will be fantastic. But I assure you, the minute you open up those packs, you're going to be like, I want more now.
Yeah.
And your mind will change very quickly. Back to Snap, though. So, as we spoke about activating in the hand. So, if we had like tokens in Snap, that we can activate in our hands, then we could probably get packs that has tokens in them.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Listen, I'm talking recklessness. But, yeah. That feeling, and I thought we saw some data mines where Snap might have some packs, but what's going to be in them?
I'm a little scared because if it's like loot boxing, I'm going to be really worried. I don't know. I've seen that there's word of the data mine that there's something to do with the word pack. I don't know how Snap would be able to do that because unlike these other TCGs and CCGs where you have multiple cards and then you flare them and then you get them upgraded and this is all Snap is like you get the one card.
Correct.
That's it. So I don't know how they're going to do packs successfully, but literally it's the animation, the idea of slicing open a pack and then filtering through cards. I would love our game to take something from that piece of knowledge, that dopamine hit of being able to look through your 12 card deck, right? When you start a battle, I be able to cut the deck even just to say like, here, you've shuffled the deck. All right, I'm going to cut or no cut the deck, do the cut today. Like something like that, even the smallest little bit to make it more feel more like a TCG in that aspect of these are actual cards that you're having some RNG over. Because you decided do it or not do it because you made a choice and you activated something like that. Like that's cool to me. And I hope Snap looks into what works from this game in New Zealand.
You know what else is cool that I even mentioned?
What?
The fact that we have like mats, right? Like Snap needs to give us the ability to change.
Oh my God, yes.
Our that blasted asteroid that we've been on since 2 years now.
Well, we
those
were
backgrounds, man.
It was changed before.
It was changed once. It was changed once.
Yeah, it was
changed to widescreen. It was still the same background. Still
no, they changed it. No, they changed it.
No, there was one change. Go back to your old videos.
Go back to
Okay, stop. Yeah. The change was we went to widescreen and we have more color. But prior to that, we were always on an asteroid.
Yeah, it was like the whole
background is an asteroid. Guys, it's still an asteroid from day one. If I look at my beta video right now, I'm on an asteroid.
Style, wasn't it? Or a different kind?
Because we went widescreen. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The minute we went widescreen, so now we see the sky more than just the rock. That's the difference you guys are seeing now.
Oh, it's the zoom out.
Correct. I'm trying to say when we went widescreen, they made the mobile.
It was good enough for us.
It made you guys listen, hey. But I'm just saying the fact that I can have like
you're right.
TV.
You're right.
Yeah, I think we need more backgrounds. I mean, listen,
it's just the zoom out.
It would be kind of cool to like play in the danger room, right? That would be kind of cool. Like that would be kind of fire.
Playing Asgard, right?
Yeah, play in Asgard or play a type of scenic backgrounds makes it more fun. I agree.
Yeah, and have stuff happening in the background while you play. I think that'd be super fun.
Yeah,
but yeah,
that Avenger compound or something like that. It would be really dope.
Yeah, because we already have card backs. We have that ability to customize our cards. We have the ability to foil our cards. The thing that we don't have the ability to do is customize the board in which we are playing. So,
and even if it happened at a random, I wouldn't be mad at it. If we couldn't control it, if it just happened at a random, like every time we started a game, it'd be a new background, would be dope.
And
it'd be like Mortal Kombat, just always hitting random, and you never know which of the 12 it's going to be. You know,
exactly. You don't know where you're going.
Yeah.
And if you look at Snap, our profile is huge, right? But it only has infinite rank and your collection level. Why can't we have our favorite card, our favorite split? You know, that I would like to see that in Snap. We have so much space for so much potential. You know, it'd be nice to have our profile show off some cool things. But nonetheless, that was our take on Pokemon Pocket. I think it's going to be a fun game when it comes out in October. If you guys can play it earlier, definitely enjoy it. But yeah, I think Guess put out what a phenomenal and very informative video prior to me playing it about all the cool things that Pocket has and the comparison with Snap, that after playing it for 2 days, he was on the money. So good stuff, Guess, on that. And if you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. And we see you guys in the next episode.
Hold on, and go check out Tucker's Scarlet Spider spotlight video, guys. He did a great job. Shout out to Tucker, killing it. Power on, doing big things. So yes,
we didn't even touch the mailbag topic, so we'll just add that to next week and ask our people. Hey, listen, everybody, go let us.
Activate was it?
Oh, no. This is called me making up shit. So there's a mailbag topic on the YouTube side where we're segueing to letting our community know, hey, listen, leave a comment down below and ask us questions. Sino, Tech, myself, please. We want to know whether it's Marvel Snap related or not. We would love to see what questions you have here for the Snapcast. So let us know. We'll do the mailbag segment next week. Because next week's going to be an exciting one to talk about. We've got a new season, so should be a good one. So we want to hear from you.
We have the Tournament of Power happening.
Number 6, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, it's going to be good stuff. We'll leave a link down below to that. It's going to be fun. It's going to be amazing seeing the women of Snap battle it out to be crowned the Valkyrie Women Tournament of Power champion.
Very true. Very true.
All right, guys. I'm glad you guys stuck it out for us for this long.
Yeah.
And because you did, the first person to leave a comment down below to give me the name of these 4 Funko Pops behind me is going to get a gold pass. First person. If you made it this far, you're going to get a gold. Come on. Tell me what these 4.
Let's go.
All right. Later. Peace.